Hi there, this is James Birchall, and recently I was asked about maximizing my Mac. And one of the questions I was asked was about upkeep and system maintenance and all that fun stuff. A friend of mine had asked me what I do to make sure my Mac stays running in tip-top condition. Because if you're like me, you probably use your Mac for pretty much everything in your business, and you really can't afford for it to crash. It's unlikely that a Mac will do that, but they do. It does happen from time to time. And while there are sort of a series of apps within the Mac, as you can see, I'm running Mojave at the moment. There's an app that I pretty much rely on and have done so for quite a number of versions. It's up here. It's called Clean My Mac. Now, I'm not an affiliate. And what's nice about it is, and I'm going to open up and show it to you in a sec, is it tells you a bunch of stuff when you click on the little icon at the top up here. For instance, right now I've got a 16 gig MacBook Pro, 15 inch, six core processors and all that fun stuff. So you can see that I've got about 5.1 gigs free. If I wanted to free up a ton more space, I could click on this. My trash has got that much in it. I'm not testing my network right now. My battery is fully charged, 5% load and so forth. And you can see I got about 92 gigs left out of my 250 gig solid state hard drive. Now, this is what happens when you run it. You see, your computer does a whole slew of things. And when it's actually operating, you typically don't really pay too much attention. It's when things go wrong that you start paying attention. Well, one of the nice things about Clean My Mac, and again, as I said, I'm not an affiliate. I've just used this for years. This is the latest version that you're looking at right now. I'm recording this, as you can see, Monday, February 18. It has all these integrated features, and what you can do just to kind of keep your hard drive clean so that it doesn't fill up with junk is click on this thing called Smart Scan. Or you can, independently pick the areas that you want to clean up. It'll clean up, your photos if you've got, too many photos, too many duplicates, things like that. Knock out caching. Caching is just really copies of data that you don't really need, but computers use it to keep things quick. Mail attachments that you could strip off after time. Junk in iTunes, trash cans. The other thing it does is, as you can see, is it also protects you from malware. Now, I don't actually have any antivirus software running on my Mac. I used to, and I might again in the future, but right now I don't have any, and predominantly it's because I don't do anything silly, and usually it's doing silly stuff is what infects your computer. I mean, one of the nice things about Macs is that all the software that you download from the App Store has been scanned and checked and so on and so forth. And if you take all your default settings on your Mac, you're typically not able to install what's known as an unsigned application onto your computer anyway. You actually have to sort of manually switch off the safety guards, to install something on your computer that might not necessarily be the safest thing to do. And frankly, if you're going to do that, then you probably want to put antivirus software on your computer because you're making your computer have to handle much more risk. Anyway, this piece of software, Clean My Mac, has something called malware removal, and you can look for malware, scan, and it'll look through your entire drive. And malware is malicious software, hence the name malware. It does nasty stuff like slow down your computer, steal your identity, email stuff to other people, or just mischievous stuff that generally just makes your experience less optimal. As you can see, mine is clean. There's other things that you can manage, privacy. But my friend had asked me about making sure that, how do I keep my computer running fast and sleek? Well, I regularly smart scan. By the way, Clean My Mac, if you let it will remind you periodically to run it. I periodically do this. I run optimization. I run the maintenance scripts. And, you can check whichever one you want. This one's quite a biggie. Sometimes your Mac, you'll find, if you look over here, you'll find that some of your applications don't run properly, or you'll double click on an icon and it won't open the application that's associated with it, so the link's been broken. You won't be able to move certain files around or whatever, and a lot of that sometimes is tied to disk permissions, so you can run that. You've got a hard drive full of content. Well, remember, your computer's trying to find things whenever you tell it to do stuff. Well, if it can't find things fast, then your experience is going to be slow. So, you're going to see search performance drops. Like if you're looking for things and it's just taking too long, or you feel it's taking too long, then what you'd want to do is re-index Spotlight. Spotlight is a piece of software that runs behind the scenes. It's a task that runs on your computer that it keeps an eye on all of the files and where everything is on your hard drive, and makes, indexing and finding of information super slick. You can also rebuild the launch services periodically. Again, files open with the wrong apps, incorrect file type icons show up. If you click on an image that looks like it's supposed to be open with Notepad, and it doesn't open with text edit or whatever, then this could be why. Periodically, you just want to run them. And that's really all there is to it. You don't really need to think too much, actually. You just kind of do it. By the way, if you're like me, you probably install and deinstall software quite a lot. Right now, I think I've got 69 applications on my Mac. And, when you want to remove them, you'll go to the icon, you'll drag it and drop it in the trash, and you think, oh, well, it's done. Well, not really. You might have removed the package which contains the app, but sometimes when you install apps, it sprinkles digital pixie dust all over your hard drive, information files that the app needed. Well, now that the app's gone because you've chosen to delete it, you don't need them anymore, and Clean My Mac can find them. Actually, in the new version of Clean My Mac, which is kind of cool, oh look, I need to update some software, will actually tell you what you need to update. Now, you don't generally have to do this for core operating system stuff that's actually part of your Mac, because that's now done relatively automatically within system preferences. Where is it? There it is. See it? Little gear here says software update. If you click on that, it periodically, see, mine's checked, and automatically keep my Mac up to date. So that will keep your Mac up to date with core Apple software, but you can use Clean My Mac to keep an eye on non-Apple software. For instance, I've got these 3 pieces of software here that I'm being told I need to update, so I will. I could simply go and open those applications, like any normal person would from Launchpad, or I could select them all here and hit update, and Clean My Mac will handle it for me. It's just a convenience. You can also use the large and old files features to find anything that's really, really big and out of date and redundant. By the way, another app that I use to find large old files that I don't want to use anymore is this one. It is a peach. It's called Gemini, and it literally allows you to scan. Not quite sure why it's got eggs, but it will scan your entire hard drive, and it will look for large files, duplicates of files, and it will give you all the options that you need for managing and keeping your hard drive clean. Now, I do a lot of work, video work and stuff like that, so I don't generally keep videos on my central hard drive, but 250 gigabytes, you can fill that up very quickly if you're not taking care. So that's why I use Gemini, and I use Clean My Mac. And here, this is what it looks like when you scan. It will scan. Well, right now it's found 1.49 gigabytes. You see how fast this thing is. Granted, I'm running a fairly new MacBook Pro, but still. Ooh, there we go. It suggests running 3 speed tasks. Well, I'm going to run the whole thing. Wants me to quit Chrome, so we'll quit Chrome. You can see this. I'm not editing any of this. We're doing this in real time while I'm talking over the top, so you can see how fast it is. You can see, look, it wanted to run 3 scripts. It wanted to run the maintenance scripts, it wanted to flush the DNS cache, and it wanted to free up the RAM so that the computer would stay at optimal speed. And, as they say, that is all she wrote. I'm not quite sure why it does this. This is a fairly annoying thing right now. I think it's probably a glitch. Whenever it finishes, it tends to want to open a browser window. It's a minor inconvenience. But that is the way I keep my Mac running fast and slick. I use those 2 apps. I use, as I say, I use Gemini here, and I use Clean My Mac here. And that's it. Hope you found that useful, and I do suggest you get your hands on them if you want to keep your Mac running tip-top and ship-shape and Bristol fashion and all those other weird metaphors that mean things are moving along swimmingly. My name's James Birchall, and I hope you found this useful. Bye-bye.